Well, good afternoon, and welcome to another Facebook Live. And, as always, when you come on, if you would just say hi so I know that I'm actually connected to the service so that people are actually able to watch. Because once in a while, what I've had happen is I have done the Facebook Live and I had to redo it because it didn't go anywhere. So, yeah, if you just say hi when you come on, and if you like what I'm saying, and I see somebody's here, put a like or let us know where you're listening and watching from. Today's topic is really an extension of what I brought to the Facebook Live last week. And I just want to say to everyone that commented, there were so many of you, and you shared and reposted and commented, and, it just, the views were off the hook. So, I really appreciate that. Today's topic is the art of connection. And I say that on purpose, the art of connection. It's not a science, it's an art. And the art of connection, active listening. And I've been teaching active listening for a very long time. And what it does is it conquers the yabat disease. And so what I want to do is break it down a little bit. And the art of connection is really that ability to put yourself in somebody else's position. Now, right now in the economy, in dealing with COVID, dealing with the Black Lives Matter, the stress that we're having in all forms and areas of our lives, both professionally and personally, this art of connection is, to me, what it will take for us to have some sort of healing, some sort of progress. I was talking to actually my MC for the boot camp, Kirk Samuels, a couple of days ago. And we were going through this, and he really encouraged me to bring this topic to the Facebook Live. And so the art of connection, active listening. So what is active listening? Active listening is where you stop thinking. People have told me forever, hey, Shelley, thanks for coming. People have told me forever that's impossible, that you cannot stop yourself from thinking. So let me ask you, the last time you went to a movie theater and you were watching a movie, were you thinking about what was happening, or were you so immersed in that movie that you were actually participating, you were in the movie? That's how I go. And that's what I talk about active listening, is being so in tune to what is being shared with you by another person that it becomes a story that's the only thing that you are perceiving at that moment. The moment we start thinking, we stop listening. Hey, Rhonda, thanks for coming on. And what happens is that at that moment, we stop connecting, we stop communication. And so, like, one of the things that happens to me a lot is, it just happened a couple of days ago. I was referred to a brand new possible client. And during that discussion, it really came up. I was listening to where she was and what was going on. And I suggested to her that the timing right now wasn't the right timing for us to connect, to get past some of the things that were happening in her life. And then let's reconnect. And we had a great conversation. She thanked me for it. But if I wasn't listening and I was thinking about how to convince her that I was the right solution for her, and I might be, but there was two different issues. And then the first issue had to be really solved or completed first before any great work or accomplishment results could happen working with me. And so hearing what people are many times not saying. Now, the thing that this is where it gets to be fun. When we start listening to ourselves, and the biggest indication that we're no longer listening is when we start formulating a yeah but. That yeah but, you say one thing, now I want to be on the defensive. I'm going to come in and come up with some great thought, counter, where we get into this debate where no one is listening. And it's only when we truly want to know, to an understanding. It doesn't mean that we have to agree, but when we truly want to know how and where that person is coming from, And that, hey, Sammy, at that point, we have the ability to somewhat, never totally, but somewhat put ourselves in that place of that person. And this is where, when we really fine tune this, when we have this as an inside, as a natural ability, our businesses will thrive. Our personal relationships will thrive. I know that my wife and I, when we first got married, and I've told this story, she knows that I do, that we're so opposite. And we went to a therapist, a marriage counselor, and he said, the idea of you guys not fighting is not going to happen. But you have to learn how to fight fair. And in order to fight fair, you have to listen to that other person. And hey, Shal, and so when I catch myself in that yabat, in that defensive, I'm wanting to overcome whatever that thought was of that person. At that point, I have discounted that other person. I have discounted their thought. And so, again, it doesn't mean that I have to agree with it. But in order to build that connection, it's important to understand it. And so one of the things that I really want to come out of this Facebook Live is to give you a suggestion of practicing in every area of your life, whether it be with maybe your kids, with your significant other, your spouse, with your clients, that when you are listening to them, pretend that you're watching a movie and you're really wanting to get all of the little nuances, all those little things that are going to tell you something about that person, that's going to draw you closer, and that will create questions, because that's the other thing that the art of connection, the active listening will do. It will give you that little nudge of what is the questions that you can ask that will clarify, that will bring you together, that will, and again, I just want to re-emphasize this again, that doesn't mean you have to agree, but it means that you can support, that you can somehow come to a working conclusion so that both of you, for having that connection, you'll be both better for it. And, this is something that it takes some time to get used to. Sometimes it's like flying without a net. But what I will share with you is over the course of my career, my business, the different things that I have experienced through life, that when I have used this, and I'm human too, there's times that I come up with a yeah but, and it hasn't worked out well. But when I've used it, it has taken me to a new level of connection, a new level of understanding, a new level of how to move forward together. And I've said for quite a while that we're in an age of community where we are coming together to build the economy, to build opportunities, to build each other up. And when we do that, we will all be better for it. So it's a little bit of a shorter Facebook Live today, but I write, hey, Jessica, I just want to encourage for, maybe today the action step is reach out and touch 3 people. Just reach out and touch 3 people, not only to say hi, but how are you doing? What is it that I can do to possibly make your life better? A connection that I can make for you that would make your business maybe a little bit better. Whatever it is, the pain point that they're having. And when people really know that you are wanting to hear them, that when you say, how are you, that you really want to know, it's not just a greeting. In fact, many times when clients come into my office and I'll ask, how are you? And they say, well, I'm pretty good, I'm good. And I go, now that we have that out of the way, how are you really? And it's amazing what really comes out of that. And so the art of connection, let's do this together, and we're going to see, a lot of success in really every area of our life. So I just appreciate you guys. Thank you again for the shares and the likes and the hearts and all the things that you are doing in the comments. It is a community. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I'll see you again next Thursday, 1 o'clock Mountain Time, for the next Facebook Live. Have a great week and a great weekend. Talk to you later.